Welcome to the Orchid Advisors Compliance Training Series, Export Controls, ITAR Violations and Penalties. In this video, we examine the penalties for violations of the ITAR, which are listed in 22 CFR Part 127. Violations are listed in Section 127.1. The first type of violation is failure to obtain advance approval from DDTC to do any of the following when the ITAR requires such approval by license or other written form. 1. Export any defense article or technical data from the United States. 2. Provide a defense service to foreign persons. 3. Re-export or retransfer any defense article, technical data, or defense service. 4. Import or attempt to import any defense article into the United States. We have seen that the ITAR contains certain exemptions to the prior approval requirements, but to fail to obtain advance approval when the ITAR requires such approval is a violation. It is also a violation to attempt to do any of the above actions without a license when a license is required. The ITAR also prohibits conspiring or causing to export, import, re-export, retransfer, furnish any defense article, technical data, or defense service without a license when a license is required. In addition, and this was just recently added to the ITAR, it is a violation to possess any defense article with intent to export or transfer such defense article in violation of the Arms Export Control Act, any regulation, license, approval, or order issued under the AECA. The following actions also constitute ITAR violations under Section 127.1b. 1. To violate any term or condition of a DDTC approval or license. 2. To violate any rule or regulation of the ITAR. 3. To engage in the business of brokering without first registering with DDTC or obtaining a required license. Note that only one occasion of engaging in brokering is sufficient to constitute engaging in the business. 4. To engage in the U.S. in the business of either manufacturing or exporting defense articles, or providing defense services without first registering with DDTC. As with brokering, only one occasion is sufficient to constitute engaging in the business. In addition, persons abroad who obtain permanent or temporary custody of a defense article or technical data exported from the United States are bound by the ITAR as the original owner or transferor, if those persons are subject to U.S. jurisdiction. This would include U.S. persons located abroad, and also foreign persons if they are owned or controlled by a U.S. person. The ITAR also makes it unlawful to misrepresent or omit facts in any export or temporary import control document. The scope of what is included in export or temporary import control document for purposes of misrepresentation or omission of facts may surprise you. It covers not just applications submitted for DDTC approval, but also electronic export information filings, also known as AES, invoices, destination declarations, delivery verifications, applications for registration, purchase orders, foreign import certificates, bills of lading, non-transfer and use certificates, any shipping document that contains information related to the export of a defense article or a defense service, and any other document that may be used in the regulation or control of a defense article or defense service. Please refer to ITAR Section 127.2 for more information. Liability for others. Under the ITAR, the U.S. government may hold you liable for the actions of others. If you are the exporter of record, the government holds you responsible for knowing your customer and all parties involved in the export. It is therefore crucial to conduct adequate due diligence in the very beginning stages of any international transaction. Failure to conduct proper due diligence can open you, your company, and your employees to possible government enforcement action, not just under the ITAR, but other federal regulations and laws. Let's examine some specific instances of liability for third parties. Persons who have a DDTC approval or who act under an ITAR license exemption are responsible for the acts of employees, agents, and all authorized persons who are entrusted to possess the defense article or technical data abroad and during transport. In addition, persons who know of another person's ineligibility under the ITAR may not do certain things. The ITAR prohibits the following when you know an ineligible person is involved. 1. Applying for, obtaining, or using any export control document for that ineligible person. 2. When a transaction subject to the ITAR involves or benefits an ineligible person, or when an ineligible person may have a direct or indirect interest in the transaction. That transaction is immediately tainted and you may not order, buy, receive, use, sell, deliver, store, dispose of, forward, transport, finance, or otherwise service or participate in that transaction. The ITAR also contains an aiding and abetting clause. Under Section 127.1e, no person may knowingly or willfully cause or aid, abet, counsel, demand, induce, procure, or permit the commission of any act prohibited under the AECA, or omission of any act required under the AECA, or any AECA-related regulation, license, approval, or order. Penalties. The penalties under the ITAR include civil and criminal penalties. The civil penalties include $500,000 for each violation, debarment or policy of denial. Of course, depending on your business, this could have a greater impact than a monetary fine. Extra compliance measures with third-party monitoring. Successor liability applies after merger or acquisition. The criminal penalties include $1 million for each violation, 10 years imprisonment, debarment. A voluntary disclosure may help mitigate any fine or penalty imposed for a violation. The following agencies have jurisdiction over enforcement of the ITAR and the AECA. State Department, although their jurisdiction is limited to civil and administrative penalties and fines. U.S. Department of Justice, Criminal Enforcement, and U.S. Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are in charge of inspecting any vessel, vehicle, or aircraft at ports of entry and export, and may take any and all appropriate action to enforce the ITAR. Thank you for watching this segment of our video training series. Viewers are encouraged to seek professional advice prior to assessment, implementation, or execution.